Shadilay Frens, this is the Chaos Warrior from Chaos Media, trying out a new video. I would like to touch upon a subject which has been mentioned a lot in both the mainstream and social media, namely Karl Benjamin or Sargon of Akkad. Barely a day seems to pass by these days without the media mentioning him, and the events around his rise to prominence are well documented. With his rise has come many issues, from being attacked in the media through various hit pieces and quasi-investigative journalism, to actual physical attacks on his recent tour of southwest England. One such hit piece, which has not been reported to an extent other than an article on the notoriously biased Buzzfeed website, is an attempt to connect the cancellation of an annual concert in support of cancer charities with activities supposedly perpetrated by Karl against this event and its employees. The Concert of the King's charity concert is usually held in the small Wiltshire hamlet of All Cannings on a yearly basis every May, and since its inception in 2012, it's seen the likes of Squeeze, Bob Geldof, Billy Ocean, the SAS Band and Tommy Blaze perform to an annual crowd of 5,000 people in a field behind the King's Arms public house. To date, they've raised over £200,000 for various cancer charities and even donated money from the 2018 concert, which was headlined by Billy Ocean, to a specialist cancer unit in Salisbury Hospital. The charge against Karl is that he's participated in malicious activity designed to get this year's concert cancelled, and unfortunately this has happened. There is no concert this year, although a return in 2020 is likely, at least according to the event website. It does seem very strange that Karl, of all people, would want to get a charity concert for such a worthy cause cancelled, and the story in Buzzfeed, which I've linked below, appears to be rather odd, as it's not mentioned in any other media outlets, such as the Swindon Advertiser and Wiltshire Gazette, both of whom seem only too happy to mention anything negative against Karl. Personally, I would be interested to see if there is any proof of the various accusations made, and if there is no proof of any wrongdoing by Karl, perhaps you should contact Buzzfeed about this. This is surely a libelous offence, and this story is helping neither Karl nor the people at the King's Arms, including sweet guitarist Andy Scott, who is one of the event's co-founders and himself a cancer survivor. And just what would Karl stand to gain from these actions in the first instance? By all means, Karl should be open to judgment and criticism, but to post strange stories to get attention online just shows that those behind the lies or misinformation, and this is surely misinformation, have nothing else in their arsenal. Indeed, how long is it going to be before Karl becomes like Homer in the Simpsons episode, where Homer is accused of all crimes under the sun, and yet caused none of them? Ah yes, I can see the headline story already. Sargon of Akkad sleeps nude in an auction tent, which enables him to rape via osmosis. The mainstream media need to take note of the story of the boy who cried wolf. If you cry wolf, Nazi, rapist, bigot, etc. enough times, nobody will care. When there's a real burning issue, the media are morally bankrupt and attention-seeking mouth breathers at this point. It is as if they are desperate for people to believe them at any cost, including possibly crucifixion in the media. Do you remember the story of when a music journalist back in the 1970s wanted people to believe that Klaatu were in fact the Beatles reformed? Well, it turns out that Klaatu weren't the Beatles reformed. The journalist was left with egg on his face, and the story soon faded from public memory. In conclusion, one can only hope that sanity and sense somehow prevails, and that whoever is or was behind the attack on Concert of the Kings is brought to justice very soon. Shadilay.